Thanks, Clive, and welcome to the Late Look North. Good evening, I'm Adam Powell. 2 people have died and a man is in hospital after a house fire in North Shields in the early hours of this morning. The incident on Cragside Avenue prompted a big emergency response. Mark Denton sent us this report.
Shortly after 3:30 this morning, Northumbria police say they received a report from the fire service of a blaze in a terrace house just over there. Now, the police have now confirmed that a man in his 40s and a woman in her 70s were found inside the house and sadly died at the scene. A man in his 70s was also inside the house and was taken to hospital. Now, part of the roof and tiles in the terrace house can be seen to be damaged. 2 neighbouring houses were also evacuated, and the section of the road, as you can see, is still closed. Now, Northumbria police say all their thoughts and condolences are with the family and friends of the 2 people who died at this incredibly difficult time. They say inquiries into the cause of the fire are at a very early stage. They're asking for anyone who has information, however small, to get in touch with them. Mark Denton, BBC Look North, North Shields.
In other news, and at the World Cup, England are through to the last 16 after beating DR Congo 2-1 in what was a tense match this evening. Jerry Jackson sent us this report from Times Square in Newcastle.
And that's the sound, and that's the reaction that tells you that it is England who will progress to the last 16 of this World Cup, although not without the now traditional do it the hard way roller coaster of a ride for the fans, the faithful, damp fans who've gathered here outside Newcastle Centre for Life in the fan zone that's been running here for 20 years. The atmosphere was great in the hour leading up to kick-off, and then of course within minutes it all came crashing down the mood as that early goal from the Democratic Republic of Congo went in. The most controversial point of that first half, of course, the penalty that everybody here thought that Harry Kane should have had. Half-time came, the rains came with it. They just let the beer and the rain mix in, although you could tell that the fans here were getting twitchy in a way that perhaps they haven't so far in this tournament. But then, of course, all that tension was released midway through the second half. Captain Fantastic, Captain Marvel, Harry Kane's header equalising, and then of course with minutes to go the place erupted as Kane crashed home what proved to be the winner. I think you can probably guess what the fans have made of all of this.
We won! England!
I mean, the difference was Harry Kane won it. I mean, unbelievable.
Amazing! Absolutely buzzing! Absolutely buzzing! It was unreal. I can't believe it. I knew they'd pull it back in the second half, but I knew!
Hopefully grow into more form and use the momentum that we're getting. But hopefully they can be overcome.
So England will play Mexico in the Azteca Stadium in the early hours of Monday for a place in the last 8. In other words, they are 3 games away from a first World Cup final in, yes, 60 years. But let's not get ahead of ourselves. Now is the time to soak in the triumph of this moment, and for the organisers here to reflect on another successful, jubilant gathering of fans in the fan zone in Newcastle. And the hope's still alive that maybe this time, just maybe, it's still coming home. Jerry Jackson, BBC Look North, Newcastle, England.
And relax, well, until Sunday evening at least. Staying with football, and Newcastle United have agreed to sell star midfielder Sandro Tonali to Premier League rivals Spurs in a deal worth up to £100 million. Spurs' previous offer of around £80 million was rejected by Newcastle. They're now set to pay an initial £92.5 million plus a further £7.5 million in add-ons for the 26-year-olds. And one of the saplings grown from the felled Sycamore Gap tree has been stolen. The young tree had been planted at Ray Castle near Ambleside in Cumbria earlier this year. It was one of 49 grown from seeds taken from the famous tree, which was illegally felled in September 23. The National Trust runs the estate and is urging those responsible to return the sapling.
We're absolutely devastated. These are about having trees of hope. These were about recognising actually how many people cared about the tree being cut down at Sycamore Gap. And this was one of the trees that was given as a sapling to the Lake District National Park to actually spread that hope through actually planting a tree. So for somebody to have stolen that is just devastating.
Cricket now, in England's T20 match with India at Chesley Street was abandoned because of rain. India scored 189 for 7 in their 20 overs. But sadly for the fans, this first game of the series was abandoned before England's run chase began. Rain at Chesley Street. What's the rest of the region looking like? Here's Ben Rich.
Good evening. We'll see outbreaks of rain moving across parts of the northeastern Cumbria through this evening and tonight. But that should be clear by tomorrow, so we're looking at some sunny spells, just a small chance of a shower, and some quite breezy, even windy conditions. So tonight, some outbreaks of showery rain pushing southwards, the odd heavier burst for a time, but by morning, most of us should be dry, a few clear spells. It's going to stay pretty warm through the night, 14 or 15 degrees. And then we head into tomorrow, just a chance for a passing shower as we go through the morning. Into the afternoon, most places will be dry, with more in the way of sunshine, but we do keep that brisk northwesterly breeze and temperatures of 19 to 21 degrees. Looking further ahead, Friday should be a mostly dry day with some sunny spells, bit of rain at times over the weekend, and then things should turn a little bit warmer during next week.
That is it. Look North is back from 6:25 tomorrow morning from the late team here. Good night. Sleep well. Bye-bye.